Have you ever thought that the most powerful love is not necessarily the one that begins, but the one that finds its way back? Some stories are written long before they unfold. There's an invisible force as old as time itself that connects two souls destined to meet. This force binds them in a way that transcends logic, flesh, and even the passage of time. When two souls are meant to be together, no amount of chaos, missed moments, or pain can keep them apart. They will find each other, reconnect, and reunite, guided by a force much greater than themselves. In this video, we will explore the fascinating depths of Carl Jung's analytical psychology to understand how soul connections work and why they are so powerful and transformative. Get ready to shift your perspective on love, seeing it through a deeper, more symbolic, and more profound lens. If you believe that fate brings together what is meant to be, leave a comment below and let us know. According to Jung, love between destined souls goes beyond simple emotions or physical attraction. It's not just about compatibility or chemistry. Instead, it's about an awakening of deeper, unconscious elements. When two souls recognize each other, they activate ancient archetypes, symbolic images embedded in the collective unconscious. These include the anima and animus, which represent the feminine aspects in men and the masculine aspects in women. This kind of recognition taps into the core of our being, beyond the ego, touching the self, which is the heart of the psyche. When two people meet and feel they have known each other forever, even if it's their first encounter, they experience something that feels more than just emotional. It's archetypal. It's as though their souls are remembering something from beyond time. This sensation often feels like a deep, timeless memory, almost like a recognition. In the beginning, the bond can feel almost magical, as if it's everything we have ever desired. But as time passes, the relationship will reveal both light and shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow is crucial here. The shadow represents everything that is repressed or denied within us. When we encounter our destined soul, we not only see the best in them, but also the parts of ourselves that we've hidden. This is where the journey of transformation begins. This type of love is not merely about pleasure or companionship, but about awakening, healing, and becoming whole. As the two souls come together, they are bound to face conflict and tension. The deeper the bond, the more intense the shadow that is revealed. Love at this level is not about avoiding pain, but about integrating it. The meeting of destined souls forces us to confront our deepest fears, wounds, and unresolved issues. It's not a romantic fairy tale, but a symbolic path of individuation. The journey towards self-discovery and wholeness. This journey is not easy. It demands that we let go of illusions and masks and embrace the truth of who we are. The meeting with our destined soul can trigger internal crises and moments of deep questioning. However, this is not a mistake. It is a necessary part of the process of growth. The shadows we face are not signs of failure, but invitations to heal and transform. These connections are not just about finding someone to love, they are a call to awaken, to step out of our comfort zones and face the very things we've been avoiding. This call to awaken goes beyond the ego. It forces us to recognize what is not just superficial in love, but what is essential for our transformation. By facing the shadow, we can heal the parts of us that have long been dormant. One of the most fascinating aspects of these encounters is how they occur when we are truly ready, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. The self orchestrates these experiences in ways we may not understand, preparing us to face ourselves and the other person. When the connection happens, everything falls into place. The masks fall away, and we see each other as we truly are. This is not just a romantic connection, it is the beginning of a profound spiritual awakening. True love, according to Jung, is not a perfect union, but a journey of growth, maturity, and transformation. It's about moving from idealization to acceptance, from projections to truth. In the beginning, we may project our fantasies of love, salvation, and healing onto the other person. However, as time passes, these projections begin to dissolve, revealing the complexities of both the other and ourselves. This is when true love emerges. It's not about perfection, but about embracing the real, unfiltered connection. The love between destined souls is a process of mutual growth. It requires us to face discomfort, question our expectations, and overcome illusions. When we do, we can experience a bond that goes beyond emotional needs, and it becomes something that transcends the ego. In Jung's psychology, the process of individuation is central to understanding love. It involves separating from the illusions of the ego and connecting with our deeper, truer selves. Soul connections are symbolic of this individuation process. When we are ready, we connect not out of need, but out of a desire to experience wholeness. This love is not a need to be fulfilled, but a journey toward becoming the fullest version of ourselves. As we traverse this journey of love, we encounter both light and shadow. The shadows are not to be avoided, but integrated. True love is not about avoiding pain, but about facing it together. Through this process, we heal old wounds, become more authentic, and move toward the completion of our being. Carl Jung taught that love between destined souls is not a fairy tale. It is an invitation to grow, to heal, and to step into the fullness of who we are. It's not about being with someone who completes us, but someone who reflects the parts of us that are waiting to be recognized. This love transcends time, distance, and even adversity. In the end, love between destined souls is not about staying together all the time. It's about remaining connected even when life pulls us apart. Time, separation, and distance are not obstacles, but essential parts of the process of growth and healing. It's in these moments of separation that we learn to recognize the power of the bond, which is not defined by presence, but by recognition. The connection between two destined souls is a reminder that we are all fragments of a lost wholeness, seeking to return to unity through love. It may be painful and it may test us, but ultimately, it brings us closer to the sacred part of ourselves that has always been there, waiting to be remembered. This bond between destined souls is a call to the soul to remember what we truly are, to heal our wounds, and to become whole once again. This deep connection, which may appear complex and challenging at times, is ultimately a process of rediscovery. When two souls destined for each other meet, they are not only engaging in a romantic encounter, but are engaging in a profound spiritual journey. The time apart, the struggles, and even the pain experienced along the way are integral parts of the union's transformation. These moments of challenge reveal the deeper layers of our being, encouraging us to confront and heal aspects of ourselves that have remained hidden for far too long. The relationship between two destined souls is not a smooth, unbroken line. It is often marked by periods of silence, separation, and growth. Just as in the mythological hero's journey, the trials faced along the way are not meant to destroy the connection, but to strengthen it. They are a way for both souls to grow, individually and together. During these moments, we may feel a sense of abandonment, isolation, or even pain, but these feelings are not punishments. They are invitations, inviting us to evolve, to learn more about ourselves, and to cultivate a love that is grounded in awareness and maturity. As Jung explains, individuation, the process of integrating all aspects of the self, requires us to step away from illusions and face uncomfortable truths. In relationships between destined souls, this process is magnified. We may encounter the shadow side of both ourselves and our partner. This includes not just our fears and insecurities, but also the projections of what we hope or fear love to be. However, these projections are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for healing and personal growth. When the dust settles and the projections begin to clear, the relationship moves from being one of idealized love to one of mutual understanding. This is where true love arises, not from perfection, but from a shared willingness to embrace the real, imperfect sides of both ourselves and each other. It is in this space of vulnerability, acceptance, and growth that the bond deepens, shifting from an emotional connection to a profound spiritual understanding. This transformative process is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, introspection, and a commitment to not just love the other person, but to love and heal ourselves in the process. As we journey through this, we learn to separate from the ego's expectations, to dissolve our need for control, and to embrace the unpredictability and authenticity of love as it truly is. Jung's concept of the archetype of eternal love is key here. This archetype, present in many cultures and mythologies throughout history, speaks to the timeless nature of true love. It is a love that survives beyond the physical realm, beyond time and space. It is not simply about two people coming together, but about the deeper, symbolic union that transcends the individual. When two souls come together under the influence of this archetype, they are not just experiencing a fleeting romantic connection, they are embodying a living myth. This myth exists not as a fantasy, but as a deeply symbolic expression of what it means to love and be loved in a way that reflects the deepest longings of the human soul. It is a love that reaches beyond surface-level desires and speaks to a profound connection with the essence of our being. The challenge, however, lies in recognizing this archetype for what it is. Jung warns us that while archetypes like eternal love are real, they must be engaged with consciously. When we fall into the trap of idealizing this kind of love too much, we risk living in an illusion, expecting perfection where there is only humanity. True love, as Jung teaches, is not without its imperfections, its challenges, and its struggles. These are the very aspects that make it real and meaningful. Through the process of individuation, we come to understand that love is not about avoiding pain, but about facing it together. It is through this shared journey, through the embracing of both light and shadow, that we experience true love in its fullest form. When we are no longer attached to idealized versions of love, we are free to experience it as it truly is, a journey of self-awareness, growth, and transformation. Jung's theory helps us see that eternal love is not a static, unchanging entity, but a dynamic process that evolves with us as we grow. It is the love that transcends time, distance, and even the changes we go through as individuals. The bond between two destined souls is not defined by the circumstances of their union, but by the depth of their connection and the recognition of their shared path. This bond, grounded in the archetype of eternal love, calls us to grow, to heal, and to come into deeper alignment with our true selves. It is not a love that seeks to fill voids, but one that reveals the fullness of who we are. And as we embrace this love, we are not just uniting with another person, we are uniting with the essence of our own being, with the self that has always been waiting to be fully recognized. In the end, true love between destined souls is not about being together constantly or never experiencing difficulty. It is about the deeper, more profound connection that persists even when life pulls us apart. It is a love that invites us to grow beyond the illusions of the ego and to live in a way that is more authentic, more conscious, and more connected to our soul's purpose. This love transforms us because it helps us confront our shadows, heal our wounds, and ultimately become whole. It's not always easy, but it is the love that leads us toward true self-awareness and spiritual growth. And as we walk this path of love, we discover that the bond between destined souls is not merely romantic. It is spiritual, symbolic, and ultimately transformative. As we continue on the journey of understanding the depth and significance of the union between destined souls, we must also recognize that the path isn't always straightforward. In fact, it often requires navigating through trials that challenge our preconceived notions of love, connection, and selfhood. These challenges are not obstacles, but stepping stones that lead us to greater wisdom, maturity, and authenticity. Jung's concept of the individuation process, which is central to understanding how destined souls come together, is key to recognizing that true love is about more than just emotional satisfaction. It is about becoming whole, integrating all parts of the self and recognizing the inherent unity of being. Through the experience of love, we are given the opportunity to shed the masks we wear, to confront our deepest fears and desires, and to emerge more fully aligned with our true essence. This is why the connection between two destined souls feels so much more profound than any other relationship. It is not based on superficial desires or fleeting attractions. Rather, it is rooted in the deepest, most essential parts of our being. These souls come together not by chance, but because they are meant to facilitate each other's growth, transformation, and spiritual awakening. As much as these unions are meant to bring us closer to our true selves, they also force us to confront the parts of ourselves we have been avoiding. The pain of separation, the discomfort of projection, and the emotional upheaval that often accompany these relationships are not signs of failure, but rather the necessary conditions for healing and growth. In fact, it is only through facing these challenges together that the bond between these souls can truly deepen and transform. In this process, the relationship ceases to be about meeting each other's needs in a conventional sense. Instead, it becomes about the shared journey towards self-realization. This is why the separation that often occurs between destined souls is not the end of the connection, but rather a necessary part of the transformation. It is in the distance that both individuals are given the space they need to grow, heal, and prepare for an even deeper reunion. When we look at the nature of this love through the lens of Jungian psychology, we see that it is not a static, perfect love, but a dynamic and evolving process. It is about the constant interplay between the ego and the self, between light and shadow, between the desire for connection and the need for personal growth. It is through this interplay that the soul can fully awaken to its true purpose and potential. Ultimately, the love between destined souls is a journey of self-discovery and spiritual evolution. It is not about clinging to one another out of need or dependency, but about coming together to reveal the fullness of who we are. It is a love that transcends time and space, that remains constant even in the face of obstacles, separation, and difficulty. And it is this kind of love that holds the key to true healing, transformation, and the awakening of our deepest potential. In the end, we must understand that the union between destined souls is not just a romantic fantasy or a fleeting attraction. It is a sacred bond that is meant to awaken us to our true selves, to guide us towards spiritual enlightenment, and to help us confront the shadows that have long held us captive. It is through this love that we are able to transcend the limitations of the ego and step into a deeper, more authentic expression of our being. So as you reflect on your own experiences of love and connection, consider the possibility that what you are experiencing may be more than just a relationship. It may be a call to awaken, to transform, and to reunite with the deepest parts of your soul. When two destined souls meet, they are not just lovers. They are soulmates, guides, and companions on the journey of life. And through this journey, they will ultimately find themselves not in the other, but in the profound and sacred union they create together. The love that transcends time, space, and all external circumstances is not just about romantic ideals. It is about the sacred union of two souls destined to help each other awaken to the truth of who they are. So embrace this love, embrace the journey, and know that no matter what challenges arise, the bond between destined souls is unbreakable. This is the love that transcends everything and brings us closer to the wholeness we have always longed for.